Oh my God, bitch, if you say I love you so much, I love you the most, I love you the mostest, I love you more, I love you one more goddamn time, I'm going to throw my phone at the television. Is I love you the only word you know? You do know the more that you say I love you doesn't make it true. The more that he says it back doesn't make it real. The more that you say it actually minimizes its meaning. She's a drunk ass mess. Everybody wants to talk about Joe's drinking and Anton's drinking and Jordan's drinking. Why is nobody talking about Annie's drinking? She's a hot ass, drunk ass mess, slurring her words, rolling her eyes. She ain't there. She been in that cup this whole season. She's drunk in every goddamn scene. I need more confirmation. Give me a kiss. More. She couldn't even keep her goddamn eyes open. Drunk ass, hot ass mess. Drunk ass, hot ass mess. Can't even keep her fucking eyes open. He was so confused in this fight. He's like, hello, I'm here too. Hello. She was literally trying to pick a fight. You can tell she's used to getting drunk and picking fights and it just being normal the next day. That's why she keeps doing it. Shut your drunk ass up. He's like, let me enjoy my chalupa. She's like, I'm here for you. And he's like, no, I'm here for you. And she's like, no, but like, I'm like 100% here for you. Like what you're saying doesn't even make sense. I just feel like you don't love me. I feel like there's something you didn't tell me at the mixer because you don't love me as much as I love you. Like, ugh. God, she made us all forget that Nick was full of shit. You guys remember in the first pod episodes, we were like, oh, Nick is here for play. He's here for a good time, not a long time. He ain't trying to get married to a motherfucking soul. Well, remember in the beginning, we were all saying like, Nick is full of shit. He's telling Kate and Annie the same things. Kate didn't say, I love you back quick enough. So he jumped to Annie. That's a full good indicator that he's full of it, that he just wanted to ride out the experiment. We've all forgot about that because she's so nuts. Oh my God, the breakup, guys. The breakup was the most painful thing to watch. It started out with like, I've been happy with you, but I've reached my breaking point. Now, granted, Nick said, don't do that shit no more. I don't like when you do that shit. I don't like when you put words in my mouth. I don't like when you get to this point. And he stood on big business because she did it again and his ass said, kaput, you know, I'm not happy in this. I don't want to do this no more. I think he tried to break up with her 100 different ways and used 100 different terms. Said the wedding's not something I want to do. I need you to try. I can't go on any longer. Let yourself be happy. I'm saying no. But you're Nick. You do everything so well. You have a house. You have a business. What the fuck does that got to do with the tea in China? Bitch, no is no is no. Please don't do this. Stop fucking begging. The way that she tried to just like laugh it off, like, no, don't say that. We're not going to do that. Like, and she just thought it was a big joke. Like, she just thought that was going to change his mind. Like, no, don't say no. No, don't say no. This is not really one of those situations where you have a say. If I say it's over, it's over. You need two people to get married. She just wants to get married so freaking bad. She's so freaking desperate. And then she got on her phone mid-argument. Did anybody else pause the TV screen to see what the hell her text messages said? Because I did. Here's what they said. Hi, 90% sure, no wedding. The person says, hi, checking on you. Why? I'll call you later. Okay, currently filming. And then she's typing in, Nick won't something. Like, who are you talking to? If she sent this text here, this is how real the delusion is. If she sent this text while they were having this conversation and she said 90% sure no wedding, it's 100% sure there's no wedding, Delulu. Like, he just told you it's a no. I don't want to go to the altar. The wedding is not something that makes me happy. No. And you're still saying 90%, bro. It's 100%. It's 100%. So is this a previous conversation that she had? Because if that's a previous conversation, then you knew damn well y'all wasn't making it anyway. It's giving, I just want to go to the altar. I just want to have a moment. I think Annie just desperately wants to get married. She can't see all the signs in front of her that this is not it. The way she was begging that man, the way she was like, 1 + 1, I can make it equal 3. Watch me. Like, and then again, she was like, so what, you like me less or love me less? Again, with the loving less. This man just told you he does not like when you say that. He does not like when you do that. And here you are again doing it. You wasted my time. I feel like I centered my whole life around you. Do you think that begging and doing all this is going to make him say, you know what, Annie? You did move things around for me. So you know what? Never mind. Yeah, let's get married. Like, girl, Like, you were faking the whole time. Now, granted, in the beginning, I thought Nick was faking, but she made us all lose sight of that. You made us all forget that he was fucking faking. Everybody on the cast has said that he's not genuine, that he gives off a disingenuine vibe. So clearly there's something that is disingenuine about him. There is something that is fake about him. But Annie, you've made us all forget because you've given him every reason to leave your crazy ass. You are too much. And you gave him the out on a silver fucking platter. Does Anton have a drinking problem? And why the hell was he eating that goddamn sandwich like that? Let's get into episodes 10 and 11 of Love is Blind. And we are starting to see this crumble. Their first scene, she is concerned with his drinking. He's coming in, he's saying he's gonna get a beverage. It's the last one of some 12 pack, and they're all trying to mysteriously find out where the motherfucking drinks went, okay? Now, here's my thing with Ally. There is a way to have a conversation with somebody if you have a genuine concern. If you are actually concerned that they might have a drinking problem, I think it's very important to address it in a very sensitive manner. Very compassionate, loving manner. And I don't feel like that's what she did here. She came at him in a very condescending way that made him feel defensive to the point where the man just started fucking lying. Like, you don't know where the damn tequila bottle went. You just have to get up and check if it's there and it's miraculously gone. Now, if this man went through a half a tequila bottle, 12 Coors Light, and 12 what I'm assuming is like a White Claw or something like that, matter of 10 days or 7 days or however many days that are in discussion here, he might have a problem. It's very normal for Annie to be concerned about that problem. Nobody wants to go into a marriage with somebody who has a drinking problem. Like, it might not be a hill you want to climb, shit. But I feel like she went about it the wrong way. The conversation was a little immature on her end. Well, where did it go? I didn't drink them. Who drank them? Patrick came over. Oh, you guys had some drinks. Also, a major difference to me between a actual drinking problem, like an actual alcoholic, and somebody who drinks a little bit too much for your personal liking. Either which way, she don't got to deal with it if she don't want to. Does feel like something is very off with Anton, like something is very secretive with him. He's hiding something. You can tell he instantly got defensive, right? Now I'm lying about the drinks. Patrick was downstairs. Now he was upstairs. I mean, he never said that Patrick actually came upstairs. He said downstairs. He said that they had a few drinks, then it was like one each. And he said something about once or twice a week he likes to like watch a movie and have some drinks. That's not really in alignment with a half a bottle of tequila missing, 12 Coors Lights, and 12 other alcoholic beverages missing. It's just not in alignment with that, right? So he's definitely hiding something. He's definitely not wanting to be forthcoming with how much he's drinking, which that is a clear indicator that you may have a problem. You know what I mean? When you have to lie about it or when you're hiding it, but maybe he's now just telling her what she wants to hear because she's spoken out about it. See them meet each other's parents in this batch of episodes. And to me, Ally has the ick. To me, she is not interested in Anton. To me, she's trying to look for an excuse to get out of it. I don't know why the hell he was eating that damn sandwich like that. I could tell she had the ick watching him eat the sandwich. I had the ick watching him eat the sandwich. It's like he never ate a fucking sandwich ever in his life before. Parents are always really nice. I feel like the parents know not to act an ass on Netflix because the audience will come for them. So I never really have much to say about the parents meeting. I do feel like in their last little date at the fire pit, it was very obvious that she was not into it. It was she was like kind of telling him like, it's gonna be a no for me, dog, because she's in so many words saying, oh, there's a fine line between like trying and just like pouring into something that you know is not right. And I feel like she was like trying to say like, I know that this isn't right, so I'm not going to continue pouring into it. I don't know. What do you guys think? This is absolutely a no-go for me. There's no way that it's happening. Do you think that Anton has a drinking problem? Do you think that Ally approached the situation in the right way? Do you think that she's kind of annoying? Do you think that he's kind of annoying? They're actually both kind of annoying me. He's keeping it too cute for the cameras. Like, you know, it's like, oh, do you leave your laundry everywhere? And she's like, yeah, I do. That is how my normal work week is. And he's like, okay, yeah, like totally. Like, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. Then why'd you just bring it up? Like, I think they're just playing it safe. They're playing it cool. They know when the cameras are there and they're acting accordingly. But yeah, they ain't gonna make it. Not stop talking to me, bitch. Oh! I'm like, who the fuck is you talking to? Can we get into KB and Edmond's multiple arguments in this latest drop of Love is Blind episode? I'm not sure I know what the fuck is going on, right? They had so many fights. I feel like I was so lost in a lot of them. Like, what the fuck is they even talking about? But it starts on the heels of the mixer, right? Like, we find out that KB was irritated with Edmond before the mixer because she had a ton of things to do. She asked him to run to the store and he basically told her no. Now, that would have pissed me the fuck off. And he would have been wearing jeans and a t-shirt to that motherfucking mixer because I'd be damned if I bought his ass shit. After he didn't help me out with all the shit I was trying to do for us, I wouldn't have got him a damn thing. So she's better than me. I can see how going into that mixer, there was already some tension there. I feel like something is going on off camera with these two that we are not seeing because it doesn't make sense why she's even still there, why they're still together. I have a feeling that it's heavily influenced by production. It's the only thing that makes sense. However, she did choose this man and he's exhibiting the same mannerisms as he did in the pod. So she knew he was strange. She knew he was like this. She even told him, you're not slow. You're very smart. So I'm like, is she seeing something that we're not? Is this a facade? Is this an act that Edmond is putting on? I don't know. Based on his Instagram, all of his videos are very on brand. I don't like the way that she speaks to him. I think she speaks to him like a child, like he's one of her social worker clients, like she's his mother. But it's really hard to sympathize with Edmond and it's really hard to get on KB because I fully understand her irritation. I fully understand her frustrations. Like, I'm dealing with a grown-ass man that don't want to protect me, that can't go to the store for me. He's not helping me out with anything. Like, I'm doing everything. He's not doing anything to lighten the load. I'm doing everything by myself. Like, what's the fucking point of you being here? But I think that she should just leave because she's going to end up coming off like the bad guy because Edmond just sits there with his puppy dog eyes, doesn't know what's going on, so innocent. And then I seem like an asshole when I call your ass a motherfucking bitch. I think that's right. She shouldn't have called him a bitch. They are just entirely on two different levels, emotionally, intellectually, like they are just on two very different wavelengths. And it's very clear that this is not a romantic relationship. When's the last time you seen them caress each other, canoodle, snuggle, cuddle, kiss, hold pinkies, hold toes, nothing. The only thing that we're seeing is foot rubbing and toe licking in sweaty rollerblade shoes. Like, we're not seeing any physical intimacy. It's not a romantic relationship. It's very much mother-son. It's very much friendship is blind. He was very wrong in that scenario of not helping her out. It's another example of like you not being the man I want you to be. I want a manly man. I want a man that has some of the qualities that you just don't possess. However, I don't like the way she talks to him. It does come off as emasculating, demeaning, belittling. Really, she's just trying to communicate and he's not understanding her. Right? Like, he's just not understanding her. After that conversation in Cabo where he freaked down and made it about him, I have a feeling that a lot of that is going on behind the scenes, right? And then on camera, like, he's just sitting there, right? So that she could look like the bad guy and he can get the sympathy. You could tell in that last date that something was off. Her mood was off, right? Because she's like, she hands him the hot chocolate. He's like, thank you. She's like, yeah. So you could tell instantly something's wrong. And we're like, what happened? Like, it looked like they were just having a jolly old time. He's yay, up and down the mountain. She goes on to explain that they had just had a fight in the car and that he acts different on camera. And I want more details on that. Like, does he act more mature off camera? Does he act more rational off camera? And then he's putting on this like funny guy act on camera. I need to know more. He's a very passive guy, very childlike in his behaviors, in his mannerisms. I feel like KB is talking to him and trying to communicate with him like he's a grown-ass man, like he is an adult that is not slow or special or any of the things that we all kind of see with our own eyes, that maybe he's a little, I just think she needs to leave because it seems like she's trying to force him to apologize for things that he doesn't think is wrong. She's trying to force him to recognize actions and behaviors that he just sees no problem with. Like, you guys are just not compatible, and that's what she needs to chalk it up to, because she keeps saying that he's bringing her out of her character. And if he is bringing her out, if someone can bring you out of your character consistently, it's not bringing you out of your character, it is your character. If he's really bringing a side out of you that you don't like or recognize, or that you've moved past, then you have to leave the situation because you're always going to end up disappointed. Be honest, I don't even know what that last fight was about. Like, she was saying that he was being dismissive and was ignoring her and wasn't talking to her, talking over her, not letting her finish her statement. But then while she was explaining, he then tried to explain that you cut him off and you're not letting him speak, and in that moment you just told him stop talking to me, bitch. And it's like the same thing in that moment, specifically the same thing that she was complaining about with him and wanted an apology, she was doing to him. I do find that she cuts him off a lot when he does try to speak. I know she does try and do that whole you tell your story and then I'm going to tell my story, don't say a motherfucking word. But again, sometimes it comes off very, in Jordan's words, abrasive. It can come off very abrasive, but I can tell that she has the ick. I can tell she's frustrated. I can tell she's fed up. It's in her speech. It's on her face. She just needs to go because she's going to end up looking like the bad guy. A good thing, there's not much left. It's like wedding day and there's no way that these two are getting married. I'm surprised that they've made it this long. Hats off to KB for putting up with this shit because honestly, it was a joke. Like there's no reason why this man should have been casted. Like, no offense to Edmond, but he's just not ready for marriage. He doesn't have the mental maturity. He doesn't have the intellectual ability to, the emotional intelligence to handle an experiment like this or marry somebody, but I don't know. At the end of the day, KB picked him, right? Like, they could put whoever they want in them pods, but at the end of the day, you have free will and free choice to pick. And he definitely exhibited these mannerisms in the pod. So we can't feel too bad. And it's like, I think she thought he's a project. Like, I can fix him. I can make him better. I can mold him into what I need him to be. And she said, child, this too much. This too much. Everybody has their limits. Okay. Some mountains you just can't fucking climb. Okay. And I think that's what's going on here. And it's very much giving me mommy son. So what did you guys think of KB and Edmond? Do you think that whose side you on? Shit. These two have extremely different lifestyles. We've known it from the beginning, and now we are starting to see the crack. Let's talk about Jordan and Lady Glitter Sparkles in the newest episodes of Love is Blind. Okay, she meets his parents. Cutesy, fun. These two don't really fight. We haven't seen them fight a lot. They're definitely less chaotic than any of the other couples. They're just not equally yoked financially. They both knew this in the pods. They decided to go from what they typically date, and it didn't seem to be a problem, but now we're starting to see how in real life, it could very much be a problem. Now, I understood what both of them were saying in this argument. At the end of episode 11, we kind of see them having this chat about her wanting more communication. And the way she's making it seem is like they don't fucking talk at all. She's like, you come home, we don't say a single fucking word to each other. Now, as somebody who talks to y'all motherfuckers all motherfucking day, I get it. Sometimes after recording all day, doing the podcast all day, I don't want to talk to anyone. I won't answer phone calls. I won't answer FaceTimes. I will text, but I do not want to talk on the phone because I am just mentally exhausted from speaking. I need a minute to decompress. So I understand that. She has a job where she doesn't talk to people. So she's craving that affection. She's craving that attention. She's craving that, wanting to speak to him when he gets home. Again, two very different lifestyles. She can go to yoga at 10 a.m., go to bars, happy hours with her friends, travel to Aspen, go to LA through the week, and she wants him to be able to join her on some of those things. He's not able to because he works a full-time job, he has a son, and his lifestyle is not equipped to live that kind of life. I'm so tired, I'm choosing between sleep and happy hour with my wife. I'm choosing sleep, right? If I have a vacation days, I'm most likely going to spend it with my son as opposed to going to Aspen. Or, if I do have the choice to go to Italy, even though you'll pay for it, sugar mama, like, I don't want to go because it's a chore to go with a kid and I'm not going to go without my kid, right? So again, two very different lifestyles and maybe things that she didn't consider when she considered marrying him. It's one thing when it's your own children, both of our lifestyles need to slow down, but your lifestyle does kind of change when you date somebody, marry somebody with a kid, a small kid at that. You're taking on the role as a stepmom. So it's like, it's a catch-22 because I got what Jordan was saying in the conversation, right? He needs a minute to decompress. I feel like a compromise can be made there. Give me an hour or two when I get home from work, let me decompress, and then we could talk, right? And he's asking how her day is, but he wants to go, she wants the nitty-gritty of work, like, it's a bonding experience for her, right? Like she wants to know more. Like, work is a big part of his life. And I don't know, maybe he feels a little bit embarrassed about his job. Maybe he feels like his job is not important. Maybe he doesn't want to talk to her about his job because he doesn't feel like, you know, he's on the level that she's on. That's kind of what it's giving. And it seems like she just wants a genuine interest in his job. But I also get not wanting to talk about work when you not at work. Like, fuck them people. I don't want to talk about Joe Schmo and what the fuck he did. Like, I've been dealing with this ass all day. I don't want to come home and talk about it. So I get both sides. And it's really funny because while she's telling him, you give me one word answers, we barely communicate, he's literally like, okay, I don't know. Yes. Like giving her one word answers even in that moment. Now, I don't think she was abrasive. Like, I don't think her approach was abrasive. She seemed to genuinely want to be longing to connect in some capacity. But again, ultimately, I think that lifestyle is going to play a huge role, right? She said in something, or didn't she say something along the lines of like, I shouldn't have to lower class wise, like lower my class or whatever she said to like get married. They just don't match, right? So somebody's going to have to make a huge compromise. Most likely it's going to be her because she's the one that doesn't have the child. He does have a child to consider. I don't know if she's up for that. To me, making you live a beautiful life, go buy your houses, go travel the world, go live your best child-free life, girl. Like, not a lot of women have the means and the freedom to do those kind of things. I say live your best life. That's the life I'm trying to live, girl. I'm trying to get there. But I also get her wanting to share those moments with her partner, even sometimes. So I think that Jordan also needs to compromise. Like, they're like, okay, we don't have to do it all the time, but can we go to a restaurant every now and again? She tried to tell him that, and even though you like fancy places, because bitch, we ain't been nowhere but Taco Bell since we've been together. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, the fight seems pretty minuscule. It seems like really easy to overcome, really easy to work past. Like, they both just have to be willing to make certain sacrifices and certain tweaks to meet each other's comfort zone. Like, you know, he's like, I'm tired. Like, you're getting mad at me because I'm tired. She probably doesn't understand the fact that he's tired because, bitch, she done worked her life. She done reached her goals, right? Like, she not motherfucking tired. Bitch, I did yoga at 10 a.m. How tired can I be? I don't know. They're the most sane couple of all the couples that we have. He's, you know, he's the best guy of the guys, which is not a lot, saying a lot since they all ain't shit. But I don't know. What do you guys think of these two? Do you think they're going to get married? Do you think they're going to work past this fight? What do you think is going to be the end result for them? I know that he did AD's podcast and he spoke very highly of Megan, which made a lot of people, they felt like it was a spoiler. They felt like it gave away that they're still together or that they got married. But those interviews can trick you. So you never know. Talk about Madison and Joe's breakup. I did not post a video on it yesterday because I really needed to gather my thoughts. I have so many thoughts and feelings about this couple. It's like he sucks, but she also sucks. Neither one of them is ready for marriage, and I don't believe either one of them was there for the right reason. If you did not check out my recap of Madison on the Love to See It podcast, make sure you check it out because it actually made me rethink my entire thoughts on this scene here. Because if you listen to that interview, then we know that this scene was actually recorded after they actually broke up. They actually broke up the night before, and then production came back and filmed this scene. So now the entire thing seems performative. Also got more clarity on her instantly thinking that there was somebody else. Oh, is it because of the singles mixer? Is there somebody else that you're interested in? Initially, I'm like, that's so annoying. Where is that coming from? Because I'm thinking it's the mixer that we saw, right? We're like, we didn't even see him fucking talk to nobody. What the fuck are you talking about? But we find out in that interview that they had went to a bar and some of the singles were there and Casey was flirting with him. We see Joe say no. And I feel like that interview explained a lot of Joe's behavior. She said that he acted different on camera. She said, I think we could visibly see him being anxious on camera, right? At the tux fitting, he was having a full-blown panic attack. A lot of the times when he's talking to production, he can't even look at the camera. He can't make out his words. He's stuttering, he's stumbling. Like, you could tell that he's very anxious on camera. So for her to reveal that he acted different on and off camera, that he was more validating off camera, and that it almost seemed like he didn't like her when he was on camera makes so much sense. Their breakup was so annoying, and it's even more annoying now that I know that you refilmed it. It seems so performative. So all of that, like, so you're okay? You're okay with seeing me with somebody else? Well, you're gonna have to think about that because that's what happens. Like, To be like, oh my God, we're never gonna cuddle again. We're never gonna snuggle again. We're never gonna kiss again. We're never gonna hold hands again. It's like now it makes sense why he was kind of cackling. Because at first I wrote down all kind of shit like, oh, this bitch is laughing. Oh, what the fuck is funny? Oh, you're holding back laughter. Like he was yawning. He couldn't wait to get out of there. But it makes so much more sense why Joe was laughing or cracking a smile or trying to keep from laughing. If it's like, you're having this reaction and girl, we just talked about this last night. Everything I'm saying to you now, you already know. It's like begging him and bringing up all your memories and saying how heartbroken you are is not going to make him change his mind. I don't know whose breakup was worse, her or Annie's. I'm just kidding. It was Annie's. I felt really heartbroken and then just like looking up to see his reaction. I feel like she did that a lot, just waiting to see his reaction, just wanting to see his reaction. If he didn't react in the way that she wanted to, she would get upset. But so because he wasn't hugging her, to me, wasn't he like rubbing her arm and like he looked real sad, was trying to console her. But again, to me, I think that Joe he's very nervous and anxious on camera. And he's probably like, well, if we had this conversation last night, then why are you doing all this? I totally can see it from that perspective. Initially, I was like, oh my God, poor girl. Like she just wants to be consoled. She just wants to be loved. Like, as anybody would in a breakup. But I also understand that moment where you're hugging and you try and be like, don't do this. Like, and like all those emotions rushing back in a hug, making shit harder, making it harder to go. His ass was out that door so goddamn fast. He didn't even look back. He took back, I'm relieved. I would have been miserable. What the fuck did he mean, you guys, when he was like, I think we made it much further in this experiment than we would have made it in the real world? I took that as like, because I would have never looked at you in the real world. Did anybody else take it that way? But in not Joe's defense, because Joe sucks too. But the whole point of this experiment is to not base it on physical attraction and to see if that physical attraction can grow. And I think Joe said that from the beginning. It's not what I expected, but I'm going to see if it can grow. So we cannot fault him for that. We cannot fault him for that. There's a thin line between trying to see if something can grow and leading somebody on. We thought Casey should try. She cut it off right away and we're up her ass. Joe tried to see if that physical attraction can grow, which is the point of the experiment. I don't care. It didn't grow. It wasn't there. I don't think he was ever going to say that physical attraction can't grow. It's not where I needed to be as far as marriage, but I think he knew he couldn't say that. But I mean, to me, he had valid reasons to want to end this relationship. That had nothing to do with her physical appearance. Their communication styles were very, very different. They weren't able to communicate about a lot of things. She overreacted. He wasn't able to express himself without her getting mad. I think he had valid reasons why he could have ended it, as did she. She should have ended it a long time ago because we all could see that he just wasn't that into her. But she was feeling something different off camera. Maybe he was that into her. If you watch the interview, then you know that they met up weeks after this scene was filmed and he actually cried. So maybe he wasn't able to express himself with cameras around, was able to do that when they were alone. So he cried and got emotional with her. So clearly there was something there. Couldn't have just been faking it, because what's the point of crying off camera at that point? Usually fake it on camera, not off camera. I don't know. I believe that Joe didn't leave sooner because he didn't want to be the villain. He didn't want the Casey edit. He didn't want what happened to Casey to happen to him. And he ended up being the villain anyway for staying, even though that's the point of the experiment, is to stay and try. And he tried up until he couldn't try no more. I think the tux fitting made it very, very real for him. He knew that he wasn't going to get married. And I think he was probably planning on making it all the way to the wedding and saying no, but he realized like he did the same thing in his previous relationships. Waiting to end an engagement when you're sending out the invitations is diabolical. So maybe he has a little bit of commitment issues. I don't know, clearly, but what did you guys think of this breakup? I think they were both equally annoying, right? Madison was annoying by trying to get him to stay, by crying, by trying to get a reaction out of him, by doing certain things and looking up for a reaction. And he was annoying with his awkward smiles, his yawns, his not giving a fuck attitude, very stoic, very like, let me get the fuck out of here. But what makes this even more annoying is knowing that they had this conversation the night before. Production picked up shooting in the morning and then filmed the breakup scene again at night. So that makes this all seem very performative on Madison's end. I don't care what nobody says. And now you can't say, well, why was Joe laughing? I could see why that would be funny. Like, girl, you're doing all this and we already had this conversation. Like, I can see how it could be very performative. So I'm very interested. Madison has been dragging Joe in every single interview that she's done. So I'm very curious to see the reunion, where these two stand, what they have to say. At this point, they all in interviews saying what they got to say anyway. I don't think I've seen an interview from Joe, but I do know that Joe is in a long-term relationship and has been so for at least a year. So make sure you're following the podcast on YouTube and on all streaming platforms, because the pod gets all the tea first. Casey was trying to hit on Joe in front of Madison. Madison was on the Love to See It podcast today, and she spilled so much tea. So let's get into it. Let's start with the good stuff. She said that on the night of the tux fitting, they went out to a bar in Denver, her and Joe. So after Joe had that mental breakdown at the tux fitting and stormed out, they went out together, and a bunch of the singles were at the bar. Casey was one of those singles. She said that nobody told her about Joe's meltdown at the tux shop. She was telling his friends like, oh my God, I tried on dresses. I'm so excited. The same boys that were at the tux fitting with him. Now, his boys are not going to rat him out, but she says Joe didn't say anything. The friends didn't say anything. So she had no idea that Joe had just had a meltdown at the tux shop. She says that Casey had both her hands on his chest and was giving him googly eyes, and that Joe said in his own words that Casey was giving him googly eyes. I would have snatched them motherfucking hands and said, bitch, you got me fucked up. Anywho, she said that is why we see in their breakup scene her saying, are you interested in someone else? She was alluding to if he was interested in Casey, because that had just happened. She says that same night, the same night as the tux fitting, the same night after they went to the bar, she sat him down and said, where are we? Like, how are you feeling? Like, I'm all in. I'm ready to take this leap. Where's your head at? And that's basically when he told her, it's not you. I'm going to say no at the altar. Basically, in so many words, she said that they had broken up off camera and then refilmed the scene, the breakup scene on camera. She threw production right on under the bus. She said that production came back the next morning after they had already had the breakup the night before, filmed in the morning, and then came back at night and filmed the rest of the breakup scene, which makes me side-eye everything, to be honest. Because she's a hell of an actress. If you already knew y'all broke up, if you already had a breakup conversation, and then you were able to put on that amazing act once cameras picked up, like, because you would have thought that was the first time she was hearing the information the way she was boohooing. She had known the night before that they were broken up and he was going to say no. He had said everything to her then. So that's really bizarre that she exposed this, but whatever. Madison did say that she kept the ring. She did say that 2 to 3 weeks after filming, she actually met up with Joe. They went to dinner. They shared a kiss, and that he was crying when they started kissing. She said that she asked him what those emotions were about, and he basically said, that was weird. I don't know. And she said that she texted him and said that she felt like she wanted to invite him over so that they can talk, or she would have invited him over so that they could talk, and he said he would have come. She asked about the crying because clearly there were still some emotions there. She did say that off camera, Joe was more reassuring to her. And she said on camera, he was often like distracted by the cameras, right? Like talking to productions, turning and talking to production. And I don't know. She said that she even asked him, like, do you purposely like pretend like you don't like me on camera? She said he was very well aware of like the cameras and his perception on camera, but I don't think anybody in their right mind would pretend to not like somebody on camera when they actually do like them off camera. That to me screamed that Joe is anxious on camera. He does not do well in front of the cameras. I think we saw that with Kwame and Chelsea, right? Like we were all convinced he hated her ass. There was no way they were getting married. Lo and behold, they're still married to this day. He said it was because of the cameras. They made him nervous. He didn't know how to act. He couldn't like act like himself in front of the cameras. I feel like that may be the case with Joe, because you can't say that he didn't have any feelings if he met up with you off camera and was able to cry and express those emotions, which he was not able to do on camera. They made it seem like in the interview like it was a bad thing that like he wasn't able to express himself on camera. And to me, I'm like, that actually helps his case. That makes a lot more sense. Like, I just don't know how to act on camera. That's why it came off like I came off so disconnected, because I was so worried about the cameras. Like, I couldn't focus on my relationship. But so clearly they had an emotional connection if he's crying weeks later when he meets you for dinner. I don't know. What do you guys think? So in the beginning of the interview, they do address the more petite women comment that Joe said in the earlier episodes, and she talked about the eating disorder that caused that, because she did reveal that on the Vile Files that comment made her have an eating disorder. She said she never struggled with an eating disorder before, that she had a normal body image. She had normal body image considerations before, but was never like, had an eating disorder or anything like that. Hearing the comments were disheartening, and it triggered an insecurity that's already been living there or existed there. And she said that it affected their dynamic tremendously. She actually says she never let it go, and it affected how she carried herself the rest of the taping. She said that we can visibly see her operating from a place of insecurity, which was prompted by his words, but she does take responsibility for how she acted, and she prides herself on being self-aware and a good communicator. She said that what we didn't see off camera is that they did really have a fun relationship, and that, again, he was different on camera, and off camera more validating off camera. Then she said that what we see is accurate. Hosts do point out that on camera, Joe seems very checked out. He doesn't seem present. And she said that that is accurate. Like, he would turn and talk to productions. And to me, it's a nervous anxiousness. Like, you could tell he's not being himself because of the cameras. I think he thought he was going to be able to do this reality TV shit, and it was harder than he imagined. He said that the day of the breakup that Joe's mask came off, he was no longer able to hold it up. And that she's close to Anna, Kate, Annie, and KB from the show. She's close to Anton. She says that Anton actually called Joe out for her, and what we're seeing, the edit that we're seeing of Anton, is not like an accurate depiction of who he is as a person. She said Jordan's sweet. She doesn't talk to Nick or Edmond much, and she would 1000% do the experiment over. And she says that her fans are incredible and have been in extremely supportive. So that's basically the interview. The major T obviously being this Casey stuff, that she was hitting on Joe and being a little flirty, and the fact that her and Joe did actually have dinner a few weeks after taping. She says since then she has not seen Joe. She ran into him at a pool party and at the reunion. So that's the tea. What do you guys think?